By day 3 without power, your house starts turning against you. Your water stops, your food goes bad, and the people outside start changing. Your world plunges into an abrupt, weird silence. That low hum from the fridge? Gone. The TV? A black mirror. The clock on the stove is just a blank, dead screen. And in that first moment, most people don't panic. No, it's a strange kind of novelty, an adventure. You dig out the flashlights, light a few candles, and you tell the kids it's just an indoor camping trip. And for the first 24 hours, you might actually believe it. A break from the noise, a chance to connect. But what nobody expects, what nobody's really ready for, isn't the darkness of that first night. It's the silence of the third morning. A knock at the door. It's a neighbor you know well, asking casually if you have any spare bottled water just in case. He's smiling, but he's not leaving quickly. And for the first time, you notice he's not really looking at you. He's looking past you, into your house. It's around day 3 when the comfort of your own home starts to feel like a trap. It's that moment you turn the kitchen faucet out of habit, and nothing happens. Not a drip, not a gurgle, just a hollow, empty sound that tells you the real crisis has just begun. This is when the hidden dangers that flip suburbia upside down start crawling out of the woodwork, one by one. The camping trip is over, survival has begun, and the next 7 days will test everything you thought you knew about your home, your neighborhood, and yourself. We're going to break down that first week, day by day, showing you the challenges nobody sees coming, and giving you the real practical steps to beat them. This isn't some doomsday fantasy. It's about a bad week that can happen to anyone. And by the end of this, you'll know how to walk through it. The first 12 to 24 hours of a big power outage are what I call the golden hours. This is your one and only window to act. What you do right now decides whether the rest of the week is a manageable pain or a total disaster. And most people blow it right here. They either freak out or they do nothing, figuring the power will be back in a few hours. Both are dangerous. First things first, confirm the outage is bigger than your house. Don't assume a thing. Check your circuit breaker. If that's fine, look outside. Are the neighbors dark? A quick scroll on your phone or a call to the utility company will tell you how bad it is. Knowing if it's just your block or the whole county is everything for what comes next. Once you know it's a wide-scale outage, your brain needs to switch gears to the 3 pillars of not dying in the short term: water, food, and light. Let's start with water, because it's the most misunderstood resource in a suburban blackout. Right now, your taps probably still work. Most towns use water towers that feed houses using gravity. But here's the secret. Those towers have a limited supply. The giant pumps that refill them need electricity. No power, no pumps. Depending on your area, you might have water for a day, maybe 2. For those on a private well, you're already out of time. No power means no pump, which means the water stops the second your little pressure tank is empty. This is why in these first few hours you become a water hoarder. Don't just fill a couple of bottles. Fill everything. Every pot, pan, clean bottle, and spare jug you own. Fill it with drinking water. Then, and this is the pro move everyone forgets, go fill your bathtub to the brim. This isn't for drinking. This is your sanitation reserve. You'll use this to manually flush toilets by pouring a bucket straight into the bowl, and for basic washing. The rule of thumb is 1 gallon per person per day. A family of 4 needs 28 gallons for a week. The water in your tub can literally save you from getting sick later on. You go to fill containers and realize you don't have nearly as many as you thought. The sink runs slower than usual. You pause, wondering if that's just in your head, or if the system is already starting to fail. Next, food. Your fridge and freezer just became ticking time bombs of rot and wasted money. Rule number 1 is simple. Keep the doors closed. A fridge stays food safe for only about 4 hours if you don't open it. A half-full freezer gives you about 24 hours. A full one can go for 48. Every time you open it to just check, you're bleeding precious cold air. Someone opens the fridge just for a second and forgets to close it properly. Cold air pours out silently. No one notices until 10 minutes later. So instead of browsing, do food triage. Got coolers? Now's their time to shine. Move stuff you'll need for the next day from the fridge into a cooler with ice packs. Your goal is to consolidate. A full freezer is a happy freezer, so cram all the frozen stuff together. It creates a solid block of cold that lasts way longer. Last priority, light and communication. The impulse is to light a bunch of candles, but that's a statistically terrible idea. House fires spike during blackouts because people knock over candles or, worse, fall asleep with them burning. A simple LED headlamp or battery-powered lantern is 1,000 times safer, provides better light, and keeps your hands free. Gather all your flashlights, lanterns, and spare batteries and put them in one spot where you can't miss them. While you've still got a cell signal, and you will for a bit until the tower's backup batteries die, charge every single thing you own. Phones, laptops, all of it. Once they're full, switch your phone to airplane mode or extreme battery saver. It's no longer a toy, it's a lifeline. A hand crank radio is your best friend for getting news when the cell network finally gives up the ghost. Before you call it a night, do one last thing. Unplug your expensive electronics, the TV, computers, game consoles. When the power finally comes back, it often returns with a surge that will fry those sensitive circuits. Leave one lamp plugged in and turned on. When it lights up, you'll know the grid is back. But wait at least 20 minutes for things to stabilize before you plug anything else in. Day one is about calm, decisive action. You've got your water. You've got a food plan. You have safe light and a way to get info. You didn't just survive the first day. You laid the groundwork to survive the next 6. The novelty is still there, but you've built a layer of real resilience underneath it. You're going to need it. You wake up on day 2 and the house feels different. It's cold. Colder than you thought it would get, and the quiet is no longer peaceful. It's heavy. The camping excitement is gone, replaced by a dull awareness of everything that doesn't work. No coffee, no hot shower, no internet. This is when the psychological game begins, and the real problems start to bite. Your first thought might be warmth. The immediate temptation, especially in winter, is to fire up the gas stove or oven for heat. Don't ever. Using cooking appliances to heat your home is a leading cause of carbon monoxide poisoning during outages. CO is an invisible, odorless killer, and running a generator in your garage is just as dumb and just as deadly. Generators belong outside, at least 20 feet away from any window or door, period. Someone instinctively turns on the stove just to take the chill off. For a few seconds, nothing feels wrong. Then a faint smell of gas or burning air forces everyone to rush and shut it off. Instead of taking dangerous shortcuts, think simple. First, shrink your world. Pick one room, preferably a smaller, well-insulated one, to be your warm room. This is where everyone hangs out during the day and sleeps at night. Close the doors to the rest of the house and stuff towels under them to block drafts. Hang blankets over the windows. Second layer up. Everyone wears hats, gloves, and warm socks even inside. Body heat is a resource, so conserve it. At night, pile into that warm room, use sleeping bags, and share blankets. Shared body heat isn't just cozy, it's a survival tactic. Now back to the food. By day 2, your fridge is a biohazard. Anything perishable left in there is probably bad. If you didn't get it on ice, you have to make a hard call. The rule is unforgiving. When in doubt, throw it out. The last thing you need when 911 might not answer is a raging case of food poisoning. Someone eats something questionable from the fridge anyway. By evening, they're nauseous, pale, unsure if it's sickness or something worse. Your freezer, if it was full and you kept it shut, should still be frozen solid. But the clock's ticking. Today is the day you start cooking whatever's thawing first. Got an outdoor grill? It's the MVP now. Cook up that thawing meat. A hot meal is a massive morale boost. And I hope you have a manual can opener because your electric one is a paperweight. Your phone is a lifeline, not an entertainment device. Conserve that battery. This is when that little hand crank radio proves its worth. Tune into local news or a NOAA weather station for updates. Information calms the nerves and helps you plan. Boredom and restlessness are setting in, especially with kids. The flashlight games are old news. Your new job is keeping them busy and feeling safe. This is where a stash of board games, books, and cards saves your sanity. If you had the foresight to download some movies onto a tablet, now's the time to burn a little power bank juice for a hit of normalcy. Give the kids jobs. It gives them a sense of purpose when everything feels out of control. Finally, on day 2, you need to think about sanitation. Every time you flush the toilet, you're using up your precious stored water. You might have a flush or two left in the tank, but after that, you're using the water you saved in the tub. Start conserving it now. The rule is crude but effective. If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. It doubles the life of your flushing water. By the end of day 2, the situation is real. The adventure is long gone. The house is cold, the food needs a strategy, and the silence is oppressive. You're through the initial shock, but the real test is about to knock on your door. Day 3 is the point of no return. Before this, it's an outage. After this, it's survival. This is often the day the water towers run dry. The day you turn a faucet out of muscle memory and get nothing but a sad hiss of air. This is the moment that separates a power outage from a real crisis. Every assumption you have about modern life, that water is infinite, that waste just disappears, goes right out the window. You turn another faucet, just to check. Nothing. Then suddenly, a brief sputter of water. Everyone rushes in. It stops immediately. Without running water, a modern home falls apart fast. The two biggest threats are the collapse of sanitation and the struggle to find safe drinking water. Let's talk toilets first because it's the hidden killer. Without flushing, your house can become a cesspool of bacteria. The tub water is your first line of defense, but it won't last forever. You need an emergency toilet. The easiest way is to line a bucket with a heavy-duty trash bag. After each use, toss in a scoop of sawdust, kitty litter, or even dirt to manage the smell. When the bag is 2/3 full, tie it off tight and store it away from your living space, like in the garage. Someone forgets to properly seal the waste bag. The smell spreads fast through the house. Now even inside your safe space, it doesn't feel safe anymore. It's grim, but stopping diseases like dysentery is not optional. Baby wipes are now worth their weight in gold. Hand sanitizer is mandatory, especially before you handle food. As for drinking water, you're now living on what you stored on day 1. That water is life. Ration it. But what happens when it runs low? You need a way to treat more. A good gravity-fed water filter or purification tablets are some of the most important preps you can possibly own. You can find water sources even in the suburbs, but assume they're all contaminated. Rainwater from a downspout, water from a stream or pond, it's all full of nasty stuff. Boiling is the gold standard for purification. A full rolling boil for at least 1 minute. But boiling burns fuel. A quality water filter removes most pathogens without needing any fuel at all. Have more than one way to make water safe. Cooking changes too. You're using precious water to make oatmeal or pasta. No-cook foods like protein bars, nuts, and canned meats are your best friends. They give you calories without costing you water or fuel. The psychological hit on day 3 is huge. The loss of running water is a gut punch. The novelty is a distant memory, replaced by the exhausting reality of manual labor. Hauling water and managing waste is draining. This is a good time to get the family together for a calm, honest reality check. Go over the plan. Give everyone a role. Routine is your anchor in the chaos. By the end of day 3, your house isn't a home anymore. It's a base camp. You're actively managing shelter, water, food, and sanitation. You faced the quiet crisis of the water stopping, and you're still here. But as you look out into the blacked-out neighborhood, you realize the challenges inside your home are under control. It's the world outside that's starting to get weird. Day 4 is when your focus shifts from what's inside your house to the growing scarcity outside. That thin layer of civility in the community starts to crack. The people who did nothing, who figured the power would be back any minute. They're getting desperate now. Grocery stores have been stripped bare, gas stations are useless husks, the roads are a mess. The new sound you'll hear on day 4 is the sound of desperation. More sirens, maybe shouting in the distance, or even worse, a deep, eerie quiet as people realize no one is coming to save them. Human behavior is now the biggest wild card. Your top priority on day 4 is security, but not the way you see in movies. Turning your house into Fort Knox with boarded-up windows just screams, "Hey, the people in here have stuff worth stealing." The best strategy is to be the gray man household. You want to look boring, unprepared, and not worth the trouble. Late afternoon, a loud crash from a few streets over. Then another. No sirens, no response, just silence afterward. That means strict light discipline at night. Black out your windows. Any light is a beacon in the darkness advertising your resources. Keep the noise down. Don't run a generator unless you absolutely have to. Its sound travels for blocks and acts like a dinner bell for the desperate. You notice a house a few doors down, completely abandoned. Door wide open, nobody's there. Lock your doors and windows, obviously. But add simple, low-key reinforcements. A security bar under the doorknob makes a door much harder to kick in. A cheap wooden dowel in the track of a sliding glass door is surprisingly effective. These are quiet measures that work without making you a target. This is also the day for a serious inventory check. How much water and food do you really have left? Know your burn rate. This isn't about scaring yourself, it's about making smart decisions. You realize one of your main food supplies is already half gone. Not from eating, from miscounting. If you're running low, you might have to think about a supply run. This is a huge risk. A trip to a local pond for water exposes you to everyone else who had the same idea, and a water source is a magnet for trouble. If you have to go, go during the day. Go in a small group. Your primary defense is awareness. The goal is to be a ghost. Get in, get what you need, and get out without being seen. Your radio is your ear to the world. Are authorities setting up water distribution points? Are there parts of town to avoid? This information is gold. Cabin fever is a real threat to keeping your family from turning on each other. This is where those board games and books become critical tools for managing morale. You might also see the first signs of real community. A neighbor checking in. Be cautious, but don't be hostile. A small network of trusted neighbors can be a massive advantage. Sharing information or agreeing to watch each other's backs can be the difference between surviving and not. But trust is earned, not given. Day 4 is a tightrope walk. You're hardening your position with smarts, not walls. You're counting your supplies and making hard calls about risk. The crisis isn't just about a lack of power anymore. It's about a lack of order. By day 5, the social rules are gone. And the worst part? You don't know who's desperate and who's pretending to be. The desperation of yesterday has settled into a grim, tense new reality. People are tired, cold, hungry, and out of patience. Your neighbor, the one you used to wave at, he might be looking at you differently now, trying to figure out if you're a threat, a resource, or an easy mark. The game on day 5 is reading the new social landscape. You'll see 2 kinds of groups forming: mutual aid networks and predators. A knock at the door at night, a voice asking for help. You recognize the tone, but not the person. They don't leave when you don't answer immediately. Mutual aid networks are small groups of neighbors working together. They pool resources, share fuel, and set up a neighborhood watch. If you've been building trust with your immediate neighbors, this is when that pays off. A small, trusted group is way more resilient than a single family. On the flip side, you'll see predators. Not necessarily organized gangs, just desperate people willing to take what they need. Their targets are the obviously unprepared, but also the obviously prepared. This is why the gray man strategy is still your best defense. Home security is a constant, quiet routine now. Check your door reinforcements, stay alert. If you have a dog, its bark is one of the best deterrents there is. Nothing says try the next house like a barking dog. Sanitation is now a major health risk. That emergency toilet needs to be managed perfectly. Being unclean can lead to skin infections and sickness, which you can't afford. Heating a small amount of purified water for a sponge bath is a huge boost for health and morale. Chronic medical issues can become deadly. Anyone who needs refrigerated medicine like insulin is in a life or death situation. Even for healthy people, The constant stress and poor nutrition are grinding down your immune system. Your first aid kit is now a treasure chest. Someone gets a small cut, something you'd normally ignore. But now, with no clean running water, it doesn't heal cleanly. The mental strain is immense. Fear can look like anger. It's critical for the leader of the family to stay calm, stick to the routine, and create moments of normalcy to hold everyone together. Any trip outside the home is now a serious operation. Plan your route, know what you're after, be a ghost, By the end of day 5, the old world is gone. Your survival depends on your supplies, your discipline, and your ability to read people. You realize the biggest danger isn't the dark, it's what people will do in it. If you're at day 6, you've proven you can handle the physical side of this. You have a system, but now the most dangerous enemy shows up: despair. This is when mistakes happen. Someone forgets to secure a door. Someone skips boiling water. Just once. The physical exhaustion is now mixed with a deep mental fatigue. Hope feels like a joke. The battle is now inside your own head. The enemy on day 6 is apathy. It's that little voice saying, "What's the point? We're going to run out of food anyway." This is what gets people hurt. They get lazy. They stop following the rules. They drink water without treating it. They stop rationing. This is how people who survived the worst part of the crisis fail right at the end. A simple disagreement over food turns sharp. Not shouting at first, just tone, then silence. Everyone realizes how quickly things are starting to fray. The antidote to despair is purpose. That schedule you made on day 1 is now the most important thing you have. It's a structure in the chaos. Wake up at the same time. Eat at the same time. Give everyone a job. It's not about the chores. It's about giving people a sense of control. You also need small, real wins. Today's goal isn't survive forever. It's organize the pantry or invent a new card game. These little victories prove you aren't helpless. Check in with your family. Let people talk about their fears. Bottling it up leads to explosions. Acknowledging how bad things are while promising you'll get through it together strengthens the team. Your resources are probably at rock bottom. You're on the last of the food. The fuel is almost gone. Do you use the last of the propane to boil water or to cook a hot meal? These are the impossible choices you face now. Get creative. Got flour and oil? Make flatbread on the grill. The world outside is probably quieter now. The initial chaos has burned itself out. But this quiet is deceiving. Anyone still moving around on day 6 is either well prepared, like you, or they're a serious threat. You can't let your guard down. By the end of day 6, you're running on fumes. The world is stripped down to water, warmth, food, and the people in this room. The fight isn't against the blackout anymore. It's against the slow, grinding erosion of your own will to live. Day 7. It feels like a year has passed since the lights went out. This is the day of endurance. You have a system. You have a routine. You just have to put one foot in front of the other. You're probably in rough shape, dehydrated, malnourished, and exhausted. Every task feels like climbing a mountain. Conserve energy, move slow, rest. Your supplies are critical. This is where a deep pantry with basics like rice and beans proves its worth. It's the food that gets you through long after the cans are empty. You open a container expecting a few servings left, and it's empty. Not almost empty, completely empty. The question hanging over everything is, how much longer? It's a heavy weight. The only way to carry it is to focus on right now. What do you need to do in the next hour to stay safe? You might hear a rumor on the radio about repair crews. This spark of hope is a powerful motivator, but it's also dangerous. It can make you complacent. Don't stop your routine. Don't stop boiling your water. It ain't over till it's over. The lights flicker for a second, everyone freezes, then darkness again. Then it might happen. That one lamp you left plugged in flickers, it glows. A wave of relief so powerful it almost knocks you down. The hum of the fridge returns, the most beautiful sound in the world. But you're not done. That power surge is still a real threat. Wait 20 or 30 minutes for the grid to stabilize before you plug in anything expensive. Power return. But everything surges at once, lights brighten too fast. You hesitate, waiting to see if anything sparks or fails. Then bring things online one at a time. Fridge and freezer first. Don't be the guy who blows the local transformer because you turned everything on at once. Now comes the damage assessment. Check your pipes for leaks. And then the grimmest task of all, cleaning out the fridge. Everything in there is a biohazard. It all goes. Recovery will be slow. Stores will be empty for weeks. Life won't just snap back to normal, but you did it. You walked through the 7 days that turned your world upside down. Looking back, the darkness was the easy part. Remember that first night, when it felt like a camping trip? That illusion is what gets people hurt. The real tests were the things nobody ever talks about. The silence when the water dies. The cold that gets in your bones. The fight against your own despair. And the weird new world just outside your door. You've learned that being prepared isn't about hoarding gear or building a bunker. It's about knowledge. It's about knowing how things fall apart. It's about having a simple plan for water, food, and security. The first day is a race for resources. The next 2 are a fight against cold and rot. Day 3 is the pivot, when water and sanitation become everything. And the rest of the week is a test of your wits, your security, and your will to keep going. Take this away. A bad week is survivable. The difference between the people who make it and the people who don't isn't luck. It's action. It's the smart steps you take in those first golden hours, and the discipline you maintain through the darkest days. Because in a real blackout, survival isn't about fear. It's about what you already decided before it began. Store some water. Talk to your family. Because when the lights go out, you won't rise to the occasion. You will fall to the level of your preparation. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay informed.